Get ready to tune in, turn back the dial, and rediscover the airwaves of yesteryear. This is Echoes from the Past, your backstage pass to the shows that changed everything.
Radio has always been this magical medium, hasn't it? I mean, growing up, I'd sit by the old family radio and, well, it was like stepping into another world. Stories, voices, and music all coming together to create something bigger than just sound. But for many, especially African American innovators, it became a platform for something even deeper. Visibility. Take Alexander Miles, right? He's often remembered for his revolutionary work with elevators, but what's often overlooked is how his story and stories like his reached people. Radio broadcasts helped keep voices like his alive. They carried his legacy into homes, schools, and communities that might never have heard of his genius otherwise. It wasn't just Alexander Miles, though. The airwaves were, a stage for so many unsung heroes. Inventors, innovators, brilliant minds who pushed boundaries at a time when opportunities were, well, not exactly handed out. They used storytelling to share the struggles and triumphs of trailblazing figures, people who dared to dream beyond the limitations of their era. Honestly, I owe my love of storytelling to those broadcasts. As a kid, I was, kinda obsessed with them. There's just something about a well-told story on the radio, where your imagination fills in the pictures. That's where it all began for me. This fascination with history and voices from the past. And, when we think about how those early storytellers brought the lives of Black inventors to, the forefront, it's a reminder of how narratives shape our understanding of history. They weren't just telling stories. They were preserving legacies, making sure these voices weren't forgotten. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? The way radio could connect such a wide audience to these historical gems. It made distant achievements feel personal, like they belonged to all of us. And honestly, they do. Let's talk about a remarkable figure in science, Marie Maynard Daly. She was the first African-American woman to earn a PhD in chemistry. Think about that for a moment. Her achievements came at a time when neither women nor African Americans were exactly welcomed into scientific fields, let alone celebrated. It's kind of awe-inspiring, don't you think? Daly's work shed light on the role of cholesterol in heart health. And really, it changed the way we understand and treat cardiovascular diseases today. Which makes me wonder, how might medicine look if her breakthroughs hadn't happened, What's even more remarkable is what she faced along the way. The academic space back then wasn't just competitive. It was, hostile in many ways, especially for someone like Daly. But she didn't just push through those barriers. She, blasted right past them. Her courage reminds us of how much brilliance the world might miss out on when we kind of dismiss voices based on who they are or where they come from. And she wasn't alone. So many Black scientists and inventors, names we don't hear often, they faced hurdles at every turn, yet still found ways to, shape society. The resilience, the innovation, it's just humbling to think about, isn't it? When we think about the civil rights movement, so many moments and names stand out. But let's zoom in a bit on what came before the marches and the speeches. The Niagara movement, have you heard of it? It was kind of like, the seed that would grow into the NAACP. This was where leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois said, enough is enough. The Niagara movement wasn't just about standing up against injustice. It was about claiming space, boldly and unapologetically. And Du Bois, oh man, his vision for equality, for opportunity, it wasn't some whisper of hope. It was this powerful declaration. I mean, reading his writings, you can tell he was ahead of his time. And he knew the importance of getting the message out. That's where the airwaves played a role, too, amplifying voices that might otherwise have stayed, in the shadows. Radio transformed how stories were told. Early civil rights pioneers saw this. They shared tales of resilience and triumph, bringing hope and a sense of agency to families everywhere. It's kind of easy to forget how powerful those broadcasts were, right? And then, there's this other aspect that I think doesn't get enough attention. The kids. Radio programs for younger audiences highlighted these stories in ways they could connect with. Imagine sitting at home as a kid, hearing about someone like Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass, and realizing that heroes didn't just live in made-up stories, they existed in real life. It made history come alive. Honestly, it's inspiring, isn't it? To think about how these pioneers and broadcasters made sure our history wasn't erased, that it reached everyone in every corner. It wasn't just adults listening. That's the beauty of it. Kids were learning too, and those lessons carried forward to, well, where we are now. And that's all for today. Stories like these remind us of the voices that shaped where we are. So until next time, I'll leave you with this thought. Whose stories are we amplifying today? Let's make sure we keep the echoes from the past alive. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the airwaves of the past. We hope you've enjoyed exploring the classic radio shows that shaped generations and left a lasting legacy. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode of Echoes from the Past. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to share it with fellow fans of history, storytelling, and vintage radio magic. Until next time, keep your dial set to the golden era and let the echoes of the past remind us of the timeless power of radio.